Hi, this is John Harcher, and welcome to episode 41 of Valleys of Numenor. We're almost to the season 2 finale of Foundation. Our plot lines are moving closer and closer together, and the new mystery has been introduced. Who or what exactly is behind Demerzel's programming? See, I got the Demerzel right this time. Episode 41, Foundation 0209, long ago, not far away. Roxanne Dawson is in the director's chair again. We get to see the story of Cleon the First and how he discovered the hidden chamber where Demerzel was kept. And when I mean kept, I literally mean kept. She was dissected into several dozen slices, but her front and back, nice again for the Buttshot Foundation, can still be seen, and she can speak. She begins to fill him in on all the history, including about a shining planet known as Earth. Oops, sorry, wrong show again. As he grows up and becomes emperor, and looks a lot like Dawn, surprise, surprise, he decides to free her from her confinement, so he ends up putting her back together. By the time he decides to do this, though, he's in day stage and doesn't actually free her until he's dusk age. He ended up finding the box with the 8 planets on it, so this allows her to leave her confinement. Now he has his own advisor, but she's a captive in a different way. In a sense, she's basically the mother of the clones, guiding them to follow the plan and hope they get it right. Back in the quote-unquote modern day, Dusk and Rue are in horror to what the hologram of Cleon the First has just told them. With the marriage of Day and Sareth coming up, that will all come to an end. Or so they think. Cleon the First leaves them with a tantalizing hint that just might not be the case. Over on Ignis, the ceremony to transfer Gaal into Telembon's body is underway. Salvor makes her way into the temple with the devices to disrupt mind waves that Hari helped her build. She throws him into the center of the temple and drags Gaal away, but she literally has to slap her to bring her all the way back. Over on Terminus, the locals are preparing for the Imperial visit. In the prison area of the Imperial ship, Belrios confronts Hober Mallow and Brother Constant about what they were doing. He says basically they become tools of the dead hand of Seldon. Hey, that's the story title. The general's getting frustrated. He can't figure them out, but the Emperor's come on board, so he goes to the bridge. Out the window, they see the Invictus move into place. Instead of a quick destruction, Day will go to the planet to discuss their surrender terms. Demerzel and Belrios are concerned, but she tells the general this is why she chose him for the mission. Wait, she chose him? On the planet, the Imperial entourage, with Polly in tow, meets with Cermak and the Foundation leaders. They are going to suggest meeting in their main tower, but Day wants to go to the church to see how their worship is conducted. Inside the church is pretty busy, like they're getting ready for a social. That includes all kind of advanced devices and weapons. They were supposed to be making an Encyclopedia Galactica, but it's never actually been put down on paper. Empire demands Polly creates one of those magic shows he used to do on Suena. The best he can do is present an alchemy machine that actually does turn the iron into gold. When Day kicks Polly over in frustration, he finds a boatload of aura rings, which were only supposed to be used by the Emperor, but now can be used by anyone. He commands Rios to take out the Invictus, and the planet for that matter. When Cermak objects, Day stabs him. In space, the general tries to figure out a plan to take over the ship without a fight, but the Foundationists aren't going without one, so he has no choice but to give them one. Back down on the planet, Day notices the symbol of the vault on Polly's neck and decides to head over there himself. Back over on Ignis, Gaal and Salvor make it back to the beggar. Hardin will hold off the people chasing him, so she gives Dornick the Prime Radiant. Lauren comes and keeps trying to pull that old Hugo trick, but she's not buying it. They begin to battle as Director Dawson decides to pay her tribute to Akira Kurosawa, and it starts to rain. Inside the ship, Telembon has made her way in there to confront Gaal. The old woman gets her hands on the Prime Radiant and tries to talk to her as her father. Hard as it is, Gaal holds out. She gets slapped, and they all end up in the time of the mule. Suddenly, the mutant comes out of nowhere and shocks them back to the real world. There's fighting outside the ship and now inside as well. At the vault, Day notices all the flags the children left over the years. To show he's not afraid of Hari, he takes off his aura and his cloak. When he does that, Hari indeed shows up. Demerzel tells him she believes he didn't want people to suffer. He says he was talking about billions of beings over thousands of years, but she has a point, so the three of them enter the vault. Out in space, the battle begins with the launch of the Imperial, I guess you call them L-wings. They launch as like capital L's and then fly as lowercase ones. The Foundation launches their own ships that are flown with a pilot and another brain in back. That's different. Inside the vault, Seldon and Day discuss who's in a better position based on what's going on. Hari didn't send the assassin since he knows when the Cleonic dynasty ends. He asks Demerzel, does the Empire want power or longevity? Based on what they're doing, it can't have both. Day flips out, claiming he's given him exactly what he's asked for. They are changing and adapting with the whole wedding thing. He then says Hari didn't account for him, but Seldon says he actually did. With that, he shows them the Prime Radiant, which will show them what he's saying is true. Now, the space battle isn't going well for the Foundation. Living out in space in isolation doesn't lead to being a great space pilot. Luke Skywalker had some genetic help. Glawen leads the fleet into the heart of the ship and shoots exactly what he needs to for it to be disabled. But right at that moment, an explosion disables his ship and sends him spiraling down to the planet's surface. In the vault, they get word the Invictus is out of commission. Day demands that Hari tell everyone psychohistory is not real, but he can't do that, so Empire demands the Invictus be sent into the planet. In the battle in the rain, Salvor finally gets the best of Lauren and gets inside the airlock, trapping him inside. She expels all the oxygen, forcing Lauren to try the Hugo trick one more time, but doesn't work. He ends up dead. She goes to help Gaal, but Bond slashes her. The two women are in danger when a figure comes up behind Tellum, knocks her out, and pummels her to death. It's Hari Seldon. But which Hari Seldon? On the Imperial ship, Hober Mallow taunts the Emperor, but he pays him no mind. Suddenly, Demerzel says she's going back to Trantor that second. She tells him all their fun stuff that they didn't help, so she's going to leave him to his own devices and do whatever he thinks he has to. This, of course, ticks him off even more. As Mallow tries to make more jokes, Dave vows revenge by sending the Invictus into the planet. Then they get a message from Glawen saying he's okay on the planet's surface, but not for long. He hears the order and tells the general to follow it. With tears in his eyes, Bel Rios gives the order. The battleship is sent spiraling into the planet, taking Polly, Cermak, Glawen, and presumably the entire Foundation outpost with it, including the vault. But is it so easily destroyed? With everyone in tears, Day sees what he's wrought and was pleased. As a wise man once said, some men just won't watch the world burn. Okay, for those following along with the books, this is totally new. The Empire never attacked Terminus, so it never faced a catastrophe like this. It looks like it will provide the trigger that will launch the demise of Trantor. And why is Demerzel in such a hurry to get back to Trantor when she sees the Foundation being destroyed, or so she thinks? I know I'm relying on my knowledge of the books and her role in them regarding the creation of the Foundations. But after all, if you're doing an adaptation, shouldn't you be using the source novel as a, bad pun here, foundation for it? Not sure how much more we'll see this season since we only have one more episode, but at least it should lay the, no, I'm not going to use that word again, basis for what's going forward. Next time, it's the second season finale for Foundation. Do we still have a Foundation after the events of this episode? Is the second Foundation a thing yet, or do we still need a few pieces to move into place before it truly starts up? That's next time on Valleys of Numenor. Please hit the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. I'm John Hartjar. Thanks for listening.